Yo, I just got finished watching that movie, The Secret World of Arrietty. Two thumbs up. But anyway, welcome to the channel where anime and manga means more. This your boy Main, and I'm gonna do a brief review slash type of recap of The Secret World of Arrietty. Now, first off, shout out to my boy Larry of Otaku Assemble. This movie is actually written by his boy Miyazaki, and no, I don't mean he knows the guy, but he admires this guy's work. And this movie, I'm telling you, is good. Now, story. Let me give a brief synopsis of what it is. So we have some borrowers that's living in this old house, and when borrowers, what they are there used to be there was a movie that came out when I was a kid called The Borrowers. And there's also a book. It started off with a book, I believe. It was a book, and the movie was based off the book. But it came out when I was a kid, and I never really saw it. I wanted to see it, but I don't think it really probably was that good anyway. It didn't look, now that I think back on it, but as a kid, oh man, I want to see, But anyway, there's some borrowers living in the house, and what they are just little tiny people. Now, I think that the person that made this got the idea from mice. Now, don't quote me on this because I don't want you to go around saying, Mean said this, so it's true. No. I'm guessing because of the reference that was made in the movie and the logic behind it. I mean, think about it. What do mice do when they come to your house? They live in the walls and they take your things. They eat your food, stuff like that. They go around and taking stuff. Now, I think what the person did was they said, well, what if those mice was actually people? And there you have borrowers. You see what I'm saying? Now, what the borrowers do, they stay in your house, make a little nest. They make a little house, a little miniature house. And they go around the house taking whatever they need in order to survive. And one good thing about this movie is they gave different aspects to that. Now, the story behind this is kind of basic, and everything's already been done, but the presentation is so well. Now, anyway, back to, I'm jumping around, but I don't care. Back to the synopsis of the story. So that's what we have. Now, we have a boy who happens to come into the house, and he spots one of the borrowers, Arrietty. And from then on, it's a countdown to when, everything's going to go haywire. The borrowers do not want to be seen because they say it's never good when they're spotted by a being, and they basically mispronouncing being, because they're talking about human beings, but they call them human beings, like a being, like Jack and the Beanstalk being, whatever. So that's basically the movie in a nutshell. We have little people living in the house that take whatever they need, sugar, salt, food, whatever they need and utilize it. And they're spotted by this kid, and now it's a countdown before the end. It's been done before, and there's nothing special about the story that hasn't been done anything like that. It's the presentation. Because they do two things in this movie that I loved. They presented another world and the interactions and what they, how the borrowers lived. And what was the other thing? I forgot because I didn't write this thing down as I was reviewing. But let me keep going and maybe I'll remember. Sorry about that. But anyway, the way they presented the world, man, the artwork. Look at their art. You can see the grain, the textures on everything. I mean, they pay very close attention to detail. You see the surface tension on the water and everything. Like when you see the borrowers pour like a cup of tea or whatever, you see it comes out as one big drop. That's how they actually showed everything in detail. But what really got me involved was the different perspective. They showed everything. It was really intriguing. It was almost like watching Animal Planet. Seeing how the animals live, seeing how the borrowers live, and seeing everything from a different perspective. Seeing how they borrowed food. They called it borrowing, but they never gave it back, obviously. But they would go in their houses, like when the dad went to borrow and he took the Arrietty on the first one, and you see him take little pieces of tape and he put it on his feet and he's climbing up these little up this table and stuff like that. That was very intriguing to me, just to see a different aspect or a different perspective on what we see all the time. And they had it's just very engaging to me just to see a different point of view presented well. Now, the other thing that they did well, I still don't remember. But, oh yeah. So they told all these different stories about, things that we've already seen before in a very good way. But the other thing that they did that I really enjoyed, they didn't give us the ending that we wanted. I don't always want to have a predictable ending, and I don't always want the ending that I want. I wanted a different ending for this movie. And the reason being is because the interactions that the boy that Sean, in the American version is Sean, has with Arrietty, you don't want that to end. You don't. I kind of gave the movie away. But anyway, the interactions between Sean and Arrietty, oh man, it gets you involved, and from that involvement, you want the story to end a certain way. It doesn't end that way. It ends very well, but it doesn't end the way you want it to. But it ends good, so it always leaves you wanting more. So that's what I liked about the ending. Now, throughout the movie, it was just intriguing just to see different perspectives. That's basically what this movie is. It's very, very simple. There's nothing complex about it. But one other aspect I want to touch on is that they showed two types of balls. They showed, you know how you got mice, you got a field mice, and you got a mouse, field mouse, and a mouse in your house. Now the field mouse is I don't know what they doing, scurrying for grain or something like that, whatever. But in this movie, they had the ball was in the house, and they had the ball who says he just lives on his own in the woods, whatever. He's hunting down crickets and grasshoppers and stuff like that. So that gave us another perspective to look at, and just seeing different points of view was just it did it for me. It did, and I highly recommend anybody to see this movie. It's good all the way through, just like that. And it's very simple. So, I don't have to really explain anything. It's very, very, very simple, nothing complicated. Just watch the movie, sit back and enjoy, see things from a different point of view, and get a decent story told in a great way, and in the artwork and everything. Go ahead and leave your comments. Let me know what you think about this movie. I loved it, and I'm going to watch it again. And rate the video and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.